Okay. Fine. Now it is visible.
No, sir.
Now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So lifelines of national economy. When we are talking about this particular chapter, lifelines of national economy, so what it tries to tell us about this particular topic. So we are talking about the nation, and the main booming power of the nation is called as its economy, right? So therefore it is pointed as a lifelines of national economy. So what is the main source of the national development or national economical development? So the idea started here. We use different materials and services in our daily life. Different materials and services we use in our daily life. Some of these are available in our immediate surrounding, while other requirements are met by bringing things from other places. So goods and services do not move from supply locals to demand locals on their own. So the movement of these goods and services from their supply location to demand location necessitates the need for transport. Some people are engaged in facilitating these movements, and these are known to be traders who make the products come to the consumers by transportation. Therefore, the pace of development, the pace means called as the speed of development of a country, depends upon the production of goods and services as well as their movement over space. So it's something like what if you produce the goods, that do not mean only production will develop the economical system of the country. It needs also services. What kind of a services? If people produce the things, so it needs to be supplied to different places on the basis of the demand of the people. So in that case, how you supply? So you supply the things with the manner of the services provided with the human resource. The third is called as when you produce the goods and you find out the services or demands. So it needs to be given to them, and that needs transportation. So therefore, you can talk about goods, services, and transportation, right? Therefore, efficient means of transport are prerequisites. Prerequisites means necessity for fast development. So movement of these goods and services can be over three important domains of our earth. So how the goods are moved or goods and services are given from one place to the other place? In the method of what? Land, water, and air. So these are the three of the mode of transportation through which goods and services can be moved. So when you're talking about land, so obviously based on these, transport can also be classified into land, water, and air transportation. So the help of equally developed communication system. Therefore, transport, communication, and trade, TCT, transport, communication, and trade are complementary to each other. Complementary means what? Now, one helps to the other, right? So, and that is why one depends upon the other. So without one, the other one cannot be helpful. Today, India is well linked with the rest of what? Rest of the world. So now we, after knowing about means goods, supply and demand, and services, and also transportation and the mode of transportation, now we come to know about the country called India and its a present condition. Today, India is well linked with the rest of the world, despite its vast size, right? So huge size, diversity, variety, and the linguistic language also, and socio-cultural plurality. So if you see that India is a well linked means connected, well connected with the rest of the world. Rest of the world means that called as other countries. So though India is nothing but a huge in means a huge in geographical size, diversity, variety of people, variety language, and socio-cultural plurality you will find out, right? Despite that, India is means well linked with the rest of the world. So if you talk about the mode of transportation like railways, airways, waterways, newspapers, radio, television, cinema, and internet, so these are called as a what? Now have been contributing to its socio-economic progress in many ways. So definitely, if you talk about uh, the transportation, communication method, right, or mode that can be called as a through the railways, we send our goods from one place to the other place. Airways, waterways, newspapers, radio, and television. These are called as a communication. Cinema and internet, they are also entertainment. They all have contributing to its socio-economic progress. Socio-economic means social, economical development in many of the ways. The trades, the business from local to international levels have added to the vitality of its economy. Vitality means importance of its economy. It has enriched our life, which has enriched our life. Now that's called as a means the trades from local to international level are called as a socio-economic progress that has enriched our life. Enriched means what? Make our life means uh, you can say beautiful, and added also gradually to growing means amenities and facilities. Amenities means those of the simple things, and the facilities for the comforts of life, and also provided all those kind of things which are helping us to make our life very cozy or comfort, right? Relaxed, relief. In this particular chapter, where we are talking about uh, the idea of national economy, right, or lifeline of national economy. So at the same time, we will see that how modern means of transport and communication serve as lifelines of our nation. So you would find out that when we are talking about lifelines of national economy, so which one is called as a lifelines? Now, here you will find out the lifelines is called as a modern means of transportation and the communication that serve as means lifelines of our nation and its modern economy. Therefore, they are evident that a huge and efficient network means that's called as a connecting from one place to the other place through the transportation and communication, which are called as a very necessary for local, national, and global trade of today, right? All total, so the main idea of this text to discuss about means the mode of transportation that will help us to move our goods from one particular place to other place and connect a kind of a economical development as well as a social development. And these social and economical development is not restricted with only transportation. It also means connected to the communication that is held through newspaper, radio, television, or called as a means cinemas, right? Now, And because of that, what happened, we able to connect with the local, national and global business of today. Now see that the means of transport which is given here, that's called as a means. What are the means of transportation? Land. When you tell about land, then we find out roadways, railways, pipelines. So how pipelines? Now gas is sent, right? So petrol or diesel. So that's called as a through the pipelines. You will find out that one country is connected to the other country through the pipelines, right? Water, you can say inland, overseas. Inland means in your country as well as means one country to the other country or abroad. Air, domestic airways that goes from means you can talk about Bhubaneswar to Calcutta or Bhubaneswar to Delhi. Domestic airways, where means which are called as a public undertaking, like and also private airlines. So public undertaking means government undertaking and also private airlines. So these are called as a domestic airlines. International airways also there. So in that case, you will find out these are called as a means of transportation. Now, for a long time, trade and transport were restricted to a limited space, right? So with the development in science and technology, the area of influence of trade and transport expanded far and wide. Today, the world has been converted into a large village with the help of efficient and fast moving transport. Transport has been help us to achieve what? Now this with what? This with the kind of a help of equally developed communication system, right? So if we go for the means uh, this mode of communication, so we will first look into the first one that's called as a roadwage, which is coming under the land, roadwage. So how roadwage uh, help us to move from the one direction to the other direction and helping us to connect the means one particular location to the other particular location, movement of goods, right? And also roadwage, if you see in India, has one of the largest road networks in the world. So in the world, the position of India is nothing but considering as a one of the largest road networks, aggregating or to about 56 lakh kilometer, aggregating all total, right, to about 56 lakh kilometer in India. Roadways have followed railways. Roadways have preceded railways, right? They still have an edge over railways in view of the ease with which they can be built and maintained. The growing importance of road transportation, right? The growing importance of road transport vis-a-vis rail transport is rooted in the following regions, right? So how it is rooted in the following regions, how you consider that road transportation, road transport is very important, right? So equally like rail transport, and where its route is and how that route is coming out. Now, if you see that there are couple of regions which have been pointed, somehow called as the 6 regions. The first one is called as a construction cost of roads is much lower than that of railway lines. Construction cost of roads is much lower than that of railway lines. In that case, what do you find out? Now you will find out means here railway lines are nothing but considering as a huge cost, but in the when you look into the construction cost of roads, which is very cheap, right? And at the same time, the road connection held before the railway lines. Second is called as a roads can traverse comparatively more dissected and undulating topography. Roads can traverse or called as a made comparatively more dissected. So you can make it in any means any area, or you can means create it. You can construct it, right, with the any kind of a topography. right? Undulating topography. So if you want to construct the road, you can construct the road over the means over the river, or you can say over the lake, or you can talk about mountainous area. So anywhere you can make the construction of the roads. But once you talk about the railway, so it's somehow called as a little bit difficult and also costly. Third is called as a roads can negotiate higher gradients of slopes, and as such can traverse mountains such as the Himalayas, right? Roads can negotiate, so it can be compromised with the higher gradients of slopes, right? Higher gradients of slope means you can make it into the means mountainous area where also you can make a road construction of the road, right? So the fourth one is called as a road transport is economical in transportation of few persons and relatively or comparatively smaller amount of goods over short distance, right? So again, the fourth one is called as a how road transportation is called as a cheap, right, or cheaper in compared to any other mode of transportation construction, right? So even very less people are necessary to means construct any of the road, right? And a smaller amount of goods, you do not need also huge amount of goods, right, if you want to create a short distance. So the fifth one is called as it also provides door-to-door service. It also provides door-to-door service. So you can create the road construction means in your street, right, which will connect to the highways, right? So, and you can easily move to means door-to-door service also. Therefore, the cost of loading and unloading is much lower. So, but a railway track cannot go to your home, right? So if you talk about that, road transport is also used as a feeder. Road transport is also used as a feeder to other mode of transport, such as they provide a link between railway stations, air and seaports. Now, if you talk about Biju Patnaik Airport or called as a Master Canteen railway station, right? So you will find out the railway track is not connected to your home, right? So your road is connected to the railway track, right, or railway station. Your road is uh, connected to the airport and seaports, right? So that is why you would find out means these road construction make a link between railway stations, air and seaports. So these are the five means different regions which have been pointed that why the road transport is equally important like the construction of the rail transport, right? So in this case, we find out the six of the region, and those of the six region is called as a cost of construction is less. Second is called as a in compared to railway or called as railway lines or called as other airlines also. So you will find out roadage means traverse comparatively more dissected and undulating topography. So you can create from any of the sites or any area you can create the means construction of the roads. Third is called as you will also make it into a slope or called as a higher gradients of slopes, and also you can create the road construction towards the mountainous areas such as the Himalayas, right? Then the fourth region I have told you that it is economical. How now the construction can be made in a very less finance, right? So like you can say the resource people also need less, few persons, and uh, 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 you can say that comparatively smaller amount of goods is also needed. So in that case, goods, people, uh, and places, and also you can say that cost, right? And road construction benefited that door-to-door service, right? And because of the road construction, what happened? Door-to-door service, right? So, and It also provides a link between railway lines as well as air and seaport. In India, roads are classified in the following 6 classes, right? So roads are classified in the following 6 classes according to their capacity. If you look into the map of the national highways and find out about the important role played by these roads. So how the roads are classified in means 6 classes into 6 classes. The first one is called as golden quadrilateral lateral superhighways. If you talk about golden quadrilateral superhighways, so it means what the government has. This is the first one, right? Which is indicating that means the important role played by this. The government has launched a major road development project linking Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai, and Delhi by 6-lane superhighways. The north-south corridors linking Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, and Kanyakumari, Tamil Nadu, and the east-west corridor connecting Silchar, Assam, and Porbandar, Gujarat. They all are part of this project. So it means these are called as a golden quadrilateral superhighway. So in that case, you will find out all these metro cities are connected to one another, right? So the major objective of these superhighways is to reduce the time and distance between the mega cities of India. These highway projects are being implemented by the National Highway Authority of India, NHAI. So who actually implement this highway projects? Now that called as a NHAI, right? Am I clear so far? Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next is called as the second region of road construction, right? So if you look into that, the first one is called as a golden quadrilateral superhighways. The second one is indicating about national highways. So what is the difference between national highways and golden quadrilateral superhighways? Now, golden quadrilateral superhighways referring to the metro cities are linked and important destination is linked with this, right? So national highways link extreme parts of the country. Extreme parts of the country means from the north to south, east to west. These are the primary road systems and are led and maintained by the CPW, that's called as a Central Public Works Department. A number of major national highways run in north-south and east-west direction. The historical Sher Shah Suri Marg is called National Highway number 1 between Delhi and Amritsar, right? So second is called as a third is called as a state highway. So we find out golden quadrilateral, second is called as a national highway, third is called as a state highways. State highways means referring to the state like Odisha, right? So roads linking a state capital means Bhubaneswar, with different district headquarters. Like let's say that Bhubaneswar to Cuttack, Bhubaneswar to Bhadrak, Bhubaneswar to Berhampur, Bhubaneswar to, you can talk about Puri. So linking a state capital with different district headquarters are known as state highways. And these roads are constructed and maintained by the, again, SPWD. So that is CPWD. This is called as a SPWD. SPWD means State Public Works Department or PWD in state and union territories, right? Now, we do understand that when we are talking about golden quadrilateral superhighways, so which is done by NHAI, National Highway Authority of India. So when it comes to the national highways, it is done by CPWD. When it comes to the state highways which connecting to the district headquarters, it will be indicating to the SPWD in state and union territories. Now, moving to the next one, that's called as the district roads. What is that district roads? Now these roads connect the district headquarters, right, with other places of the district. Let's say that Khoda, right, so is a district, so which is connecting to the means other places of the district. In the district itself, for the district, we find out how the road is connecting to the means you can say that Kalpana, how it is connecting to the Samantrapur, how it is connecting to the what do we say that Acharya Bihar, Jaydev Bihar, PMG Square, Forest Park. So it means the roads connect the district headquarters with the other places of the district, and these roads are maintained by the Jila Parishad, right? Like in Bhadrak or in rural areas, you will find out the Jila Parishad people are there, right? So similar to that, in what do we say that in urban area, you will find out the mayor, right? The mayor. So they used to maintain the road of district, right? So next one is called as other roads. So we have gone through with the process: quadrilateral, superhighway, national highway, state highway, district roads, other roads, right? Other roads means what? That called as a rural roads, which link rural areas and villages with towns. So wherever you live, that maybe you live in Bhadrak, somewhere called as a rural area. So obviously the road is linked to the rural areas and villages with towns. Towns means called as a Bhadrak town, right? And are classified under this category. These roads received special impetus under the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. Under this scheme, special provisions are made so that every village in the country is linked to a major town in the country by an all-season motorable road. So do you see that superhighway, right, or called as NHAI, then after CPWT, then after SPWT, then after you will, so then after you will find out means in slum areas, Jila Parishad, and if you talk about in district, you will find out Jila Parishad, and other roads where you will find out that specifically talking about the rural areas where PMGSY, that is called as a Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. So that actually look after into the means road construction that linked to the slum areas to the major town in the country, right? So they have to look over an all season motorable road. Then the last one is called as a border roads. What are those border roads? Apart from these, that's called as a means quadrilateral superhighway, national highway, state highway, means then after district roads, then other roads, then border roads. So what are those border roads? Now, apart from these border roads organization, a government of India undertaking constructs and maintains roads in the bordering areas of the country. This organization was established in 1960 for the development of the roads of strategic importance in the northern and northeastern border areas. These roads have improved accessibility in the in areas of difficult terrain and also have helped in the economic development of this area. So you draw all the six means classification of the roads in the country, how that lead to the quadrilateral connecting to the metros, right? And how national highway from east to west, north to south, connecting to the extreme part of the country. Then state, that is connecting to the means different district. Then after district road, that district is also connecting to the means different areas, right? Different areas. Then after other roads, which is indicating to the slum area and how it is connecting to the major town of the state. Then after border roads, so which is also under the control of Border Roads Organization or Government of India. So Government of India takes care of it, right? And it was established in 1960. Am I clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to the next one is called as a, so this is the map. That map is indicating that golden quadrilateral. You can observe carefully that how golden quadrilateral, which is presented with the means yellowish mark, right? So something which is orange color mark is indicating as a east-west corridor, right? So north-south corridor. Then we also find out national highway with number, right? Then after you will also find out means district inside that district, other roads and border areas. So all such kind of things. Okay. Coming to the next one. See that hilly tracks, how the road can be constructed in a mountainous areas. That is why we can say that means the road is the easier way to construct in compared to the railway lines. Now, so and narrow. However, in recent years, fast development of road network has taken place in different parts of the country, right? So this is something called as a roads. Now let's move to the next one that called as a railway. So when we are talking about railways, railways are the principal mode of transportation for freight and passengers in India, right? Railways railways also make it possible for people to conduct multifarious activity, means different activities like business, even sightseeing, pilgrimage, along with transportation of goods over longer distances. Apart from an important, you can say that means of transport, the Indian railways have been a great integrating force for more than 150 years. Railways in India bind the economic life of the country as well as accelerate the development of the industry and agriculture. So if you talk about the railway, so specifically it is the main mode of transportation. Why? Because it not only transport goods but also passengers in India. And also railways involved in a variety of activities, right? Let's say that if you're going for, if you're doing business, right, you send the charcoal or you send the means iron or other products, right, through the help of what means railway. Sightseeing, you can also see the beautiful picture means while moving from one place to the other place. Pilgrimage, you can move to different religious places, and along with the transportation of goods over longer distances. Apart from an important means of transport, so it also follows with the means uh, trying to bind the economic life of the country. How? Now, if you see that in road, you will find out the cost of uh, transportation is means higher than the cost of railway, right? So you can say that the economical life that you find out in a railway, right? So and also because of the railway lines, what happened, it increases the development of the industry and the agricultural sector. Okay, let's move to the idea about the Indian Railway. Indian Railway is now reorganized into 16 zones. How many zones? 16 zones, right? So let's see that the distribution pattern of the railway network in the country has been largely influenced by physiographic, economic, and administrative factors. The northern plains with their vast level land, north side plains, high population density, rich agricultural resources provided the most favorable condition for their growth. However, a large number of rivers requiring construction of bridges across their wide beds posed some obstacles. In the hilly terrains, hilly means high mountainous areas of the peninsular region, railway tracks are, laid through low hills. Railway tracks are laid through, means, or made through low hills, gaps or tunnels, right? So gaps or tunnels means that called as the mountains have been holed and made a tunnel or gaps, and through that the railway lines have been constructed. The Himalayan mountainous regions too are not favorable for the construction of railway lines due to high relief, sparse population. Sparse population means less, right? And lack of economic opportunity. Likewise, it was difficult to lay what railway lines on the sandy plains of western Rajasthan. So, like you cannot construct railway lines in Himalayan areas. So, same like you cannot construct the what do we say that the railway track in the sandy plain of western Rajasthan, right? So, swamps of Gujarat, uh, forested tracts of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Jharkhand. The contiguous stretch of Sahyadri could be crossed only through gaps or passes, ghats, right? In recent times, the development of the Konkan Railway along the west coast has facilitated the movement of passengers and goods in this most important economic region of India. It has also faced a number of problems, such as you can say of track, sinking of track in some stretches and landslides. So there are difficulties which also faced. Today, the railways have become more important in our national economy than all other means of transport put together. So if you talk about air, sea, or road, means among them you will find out railways become more important and cheaper. So, and it shows the importance in our national economy than all other means of transport put together. However, rail transport also suffers from certain problems as well. Many passengers travel without tickets, isn't it? So in train also, thefts, damaging of railway property has not yet stopped completely. People stop the trains unnecessarily, pull the chain unnecessarily, and this causes heavy damage to the railway. Think over it, how we can help our railway in running as per the scheduled time. So if you think that what means uh, delaying of train is nothing but a kind of a accustomed to, right? So most of the regions are there for which you will find out the though railway is considered as important in our national economy, but at the same time you will find out uh, it is one of the transportation system that also suffers a lot, right? So the next one is called as, it is telling about the Indian Railways. The next one is called as a pipelines. Pipeline. So when you're talking about pipelines, pipeline transport network is a new arrival, right? Pipeline transport network is a newly arrived on the transportation map of India. Like earlier, we have the road, we have the sea, we have the air, we have the train, right? But now pipelines transport, what is that? Now network is a new arrival on the transportation map of India. In the past, these were used to transport water to cities, right? Big pipes which were connecting to one place to the other place, one district to other district, one state to the other state, one country to the other countries, right? For transport water to cities and industries. Now, these are used for transporting what? Now, not only water, but also crude oil, petroleum products, natural gas from oil and natural gas fields to refineries, fertilizer factories, and big thermal power plants. So it means these are the things are produced and also transport through the pipe to different industries and different cities, right? So you will also find out that solids can also be transported through a pipeline when converted into slurry. The far inland location of refineries like Baruni, or you talk about Mathura, Panipat, and gas-based fertilizer plants could be thought of only because of pipelines. So, and it becomes easier also. So at the beginning, cost of laying pipeline is high, but subsequent running costs are minimal. So at the time of the beginning, so what happened when you put pipelines? So you find out that the cost is huge, but once it is done, so what happened? Now you do not need to pay a lot for your transportation through road or means through railway, right? It rules out transshipment losses or delays, so you don't need to bother about uh, whether your transportation of things are losing or getting late. So you will find out that means it is stored and sent you through pipelines, right? Now it is not been considered important that it will get delayed because it is coming from one place to the other place in a mode of train or truck, right? Or railway line or road line. So there are three important networks of pipeline transportation in the country, right? From oil field in Upper Assam to Kanpur, charger traffic. So from oil field in Upper Assam to Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, via Guwahati, Baruni, and Allahabad. It has branches from Baruni to Haldia, via Rajband to Maruigram, and Guwahati to Siliguri. So you will find out the important networks of pipeline transportation, right? So similar to that, this is the one, right? Assam to Kanpur. 1% power charge line. Next is called as a charge from Salaya in Gujarat to Jalandhar, right? In Punjab via Biramgam, Mathura, Delhi, and Sonipat. It has branches to connect Koyali near Vadodara, Gujarat, Chaksu, and other places. This is called as the second important networks. Then the third. Then the third one is called as a gas pipeline from Hazira in Gujarat, connects Jagdishpur in Uttar Pradesh via Vijaypur in Madhya Pradesh. It has branches to Kota in Rajasthan, Shahjahanpur, Babrala, and other places in Uttar Pradesh. Right? This is something called as a pipeline transportation. So you find out the road transportation, railway transportation, then pipelines. Now the next one is called as a waterways. We'll continue from waterways from the next class onwards. Yep. Okay, we'll resume from water lines from the next class onwards. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now I just have a couple of questions for you. You need to help me out of this. Tell me that what was the chapter we read today?
Lifelines of economy.
So which one is considered or which one are or which are called as the lifelines of national economy? Which are called as the lifelines of national economy?
So transportation and communication.
Transportation and communication. Okay. So yes, Soumya, can you tell me that means how many or how roads have been classified in India? Soumya, how roads have been classified in India? Sneha?
Yes, sir. So district road, so state highways, border roads.
Only three. Golden,
Sir,
golden quadrilateral superhighways, then after national highway, then after state highway, then after district roads, then after other roads, and then after border roads. Okay. Now tell me that who is means maintaining national highway? Who is maintaining national highway?
so Central Public Works Department.
Okay. And who is maintaining district road?
So Jilla Parishad.
Very good. Okay, girls, we'll meet tomorrow, right? So probably I'll send you the link. Maybe in the morning time, we will do the class. I think morning will be okay with you,
Yes, sir.
Sneha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll meet tomorrow morning. So till then, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.